There are 3 levels or 3 rounds in which a student should attempt a CAT paper. Each level unlocks more number of questions for you, more percentiles for you. However, most students either they don't even know that the fact that there needs to be 3 rounds in which you need to attempt your paper, or all of them are stuck at round number 1. I want you to know about these 3 levels and to know that yes, in each of the sections you need to probably tweak your attempt strategy around 3 rounds so that you can actually maximize your outcomes from this time limited exam that CAT is. If you don't know me yet, I'm Darpan Saxena, an MBA graduate from Udaipur. I have been the MBA Product Head at Career Launcher. I'm the founder of Creatum, and I help MBA students create fulfilling careers without depending on placements. Now, what this core philosophy of this entire thing is, and I've used it, my students have used it, have unlocked more number of scores immediately after they have concluded a call with me and they've learned this, and once they go for their next mock, they come back and say to me that with our current knowledge, existing ज्ञान के साथ ही percentiles increase हो गई, scores increase हो गए, because now suddenly each of the sections we are seeing as 3 rounds, which helps us find out the questions we can solve first and do more, and the more high ROI questions we are able to do. Let me give you the core philosophy of this. I have already said that, but let me give you that. This pyramid is structured in such a way that there are more number of questions in the bottommost round, which is round number 1, which actually secures your scores. Then as you go to round number 2, there will be fewer number of questions which you have to do there, but they sort of maximize your scores and they maximize your percentiles. And then the round 3 separates everyone else from the toppers, because that is where you actually go ahead and get those percentiles which the toppers would get. Abhi funda kya hai? I had this impression that students know this 3 round strategy for quant, but as I spoke to more and more students in my one-on-one interactions and everywhere else, I realized that hey, what I thought was common knowledge, because this strategy is being used since the time I was an aspirant. So it's not that I have created this for quant. For quant, this was always available. I learned it at CL. But I realized that hey, students don't know this, and even the brighter ones, the ones who are studying at IITs, who are planning to crack this exam of CAT, even they don't know this. So let me take you how do you implement a 3-round approach once you get into your QA section. Now here it is. Your first round is basically of fast solvables. Wait, what first you need to know is this. As soon as you enter your section of quant, जब आप अपने quant के section में आएंगे, पहली चीज आपको करनी ये है, open the question paper mode. Top right corner gives you a question paper mode in which you can scan the entire paper in a scroll. Now your first job is that on the sheet, on the rough sheet which you have, write down R1, R2, R3. Make 3 very small headings of that. Now in the heading of round 1, you have to start to scan that. Okay, first question, I think I can solve this. I can solve this fast. हाँ, ये हो जाएगा मेरे से. यार ये होगा कि नहीं होगा. Basis what you feel about that question, you have to basically categorize those questions as round 1, round 2 or round 3. Round 1 are the questions which are fast solvables, जिसको देखते ही you can understand कि हाँ यार ये question मैं अगले 2 से 3 minutes के अंदर confidently कर पाऊंगा, because this happens to be in the area of my strength. That is why I can solve this very fast. So for example, if you see that the first question, I studied this is from my area, this is from time speed, ये मुझे आता है तो मैं strong हूँ, ठीक है, this is my round 1 question, but I'll not start solving it. The biggest problem which students do is that first question अगर गलती से उनके area of familiarity का हो गया, सबसे बड़ी problem है. I wish कभी भी first सवाल तुम्हारे area of familiarity strength में से ना हो, because then you start to solve it. No, that's not the way to solve a CAT paper. That okay, first question number 1, then question 2, then question 3. No, you have to first scan the entire paper, spend the first 2 to 3 minutes doing just this, at max 2 minutes or 3 minutes, just this. This is going to give you high impact ROI. Believe you me, please try this in your next 2 mocks and come back and let me know how you feel about this. Then once you have listed that, once you have listed down the questions of R1, that okay, question number 1 is R1, question number 5 seems to be R1, question number 11 seems to be R1, ये लिखते जाओगे. Side by side, as you're scanning the questions, write down which questions would you come back to in round 2. अभी नहीं करूंगा. round 2 कौन से हैं कि यार ये मेरे area of strength भी कह सकते हैं, या फिर I am familiar with this particular thing, but I will need some more टाइम टू सॉल्व दिस, या फिर मुझे ये लग रहा है मैं कर लूंगा या लग रहा है कि मैं ये कर लूंगी, बट थोड़ा हो सकता है इसमें मुझे ज्यादा समय हो जाए in order to crack this. That, my dear friends, will come into your round 2. Basically questions which seem solvable with extra effort and trial, that is that. And obviously you know these things, so which means what? Now again you have to see this. First question of quant, round 1 हो जाएगा. Then specify 1 under the heading of R1, ठीक है. Then question number 2, लग रहा है कर लूंगी यार बट थोड़ा टाइम लगेगा, राउंड 2 में देखती हूँ. तो 2 you will write under the heading of R2. Then question number 3, यार ये तो बिल्कुल ही नहीं आता मुझे, ये क्वेश्चन नंबर 3 अगर बिल्कुल नहीं आता तो फिर क्या करना है, तो फिर वो जाएगा राउंड 3. राउंड 3 इज बेसिकली व्हाट? राउंड 3 इज मोस्टली योर स्किप जोन, कि यार ये क्वेश्चन वो है जो मैंने देखने नहीं है, ये मैं मोस्ट लाइकली स्किप करने वाली हूं. भाई क्यों स्किप क्यों करना है? बिकॉज ऑब्वियसली इन कैट इफ यू सी यू हैव टू जस्ट गेट 50% ऑफ द मार्क्स फॉर यू टू गेट अ 99 percentile overall. That means 50% of the questions almost. So you have to leave questions. Now suddenly you will realize that okay wait a minute, skip zone है, question number 3 जो है I am not sure of this question, this is not even from my area of strength and ये नहीं होगा. And question 3 is my R3, most likely मैं छोड़ दूंगी ये, और अगर मैंने अटेम्प्ट भी करा तो तब करूंगी अगर मैं राउंड 1 और राउंड 2 खत्म हो गया हो, वरना मैं राउंड 3 पे नहीं आऊंगी. Suddenly once you complete this exercise, my dear friends, what you will have in front of you is a sheet, your rough sheet, in which you have some 7, 8, 9, 10 questions listed as round 1, some 5 or 6 questions listed as round 2, and some 4 or 5 or 15 or no sorry 4, 5 or 7 questions as your R3. Effectively means what? You have reduced your quant paper to approximately 15, 16, 17, 18 questions depending on your level. हो सकता है राउंड 1 you have some 15 questions for all you know if you are a star. I am not prescribing कि राउंड 1 में कितने सवाल होने चाहिए, 5-10 सवाल है, 15, नहीं, depends on anybody. For you if you are slightly slower, for you for you know for all you know your round 1 it might be just 6 questions. It is low but हो सकता है ये. तो मैं कहना ये चाह रहा हूँ कि ये राउंड 1, राउंड 2, राउंड 3 एक्सरसाइज करके फायदा नंबर 1 है, आपको पता है आपका अटेम्प्ट सीक्वेंस क्या है. राउंड 1 के पहले सारे करने हैं, फिर फटाफट राउंड 2 पे आना है, टाइम वेस्ट नहीं है, पता है कौन सा सवाल कब करना है. सडनली राउंड 1 होते ही 20 minutes into the paper, my dear friends, you have already secured some 20-25 marks in quant. For all you know, it could be more than that, 30 marks in quant, that's done, pressure is released. And also now suddenly you have reduced your quant paper to the questions which you have shortlisted for yourself in round 1 and round 2. Please try this in the next mock. Also let me know in the comments how you're feeling about this. I want to know your initial feeling ki yes, this gives me confidence that yes, I can do so much more with my existing knowledge. It's just about how you structure your exam attempt, that's that. How do you do a 3-round strategy in DILR? Now this is something which I have created, which I have spoken to my students that hey, try this, and over the years my students have tried this, it has worked for them. Therefore I am presenting it to you almost after 5 years of me having been trying this on my students. Now DILR again we go back to the structure. What was the structure? The structure was a pyramid. Okay, in that structure let's see what is the round 1 for DILR. In DILR the round 1 is please go there and quickly identify the 2 sets which are your must do sets. If you are even more smarter in DILR, your must do sets might be 3 sets, I don't know, but have to be at least 2 sets. आप 2 सेट से कम में DILR का क्वेश्चन पेपर खत्म कर सकते ही नहीं, आप कहीं नहीं जा रहे. you are not going to any IIM or any good B school. So your round 1 again in the same thing. In DILR, once you come to the section of DILR, all you have to do is quickly scan what are the 4 or 5 sets. देखने फटाफट होंगे. Again, don't make the mistake. How do you choose a set? There is a misconception. If the set is long, if it has a pie chart and a bar graph and a this chart, तो सब कुछ डाल दिया, it is hard. No, question length has no correlation with how hard or how simple it is. The second thing is that what we also feel is that you know what, probably there is so much calculation in it, this might be hard, or there are so many things which I have to think about in terms of the various scenarios which can be, therefore it's hard. No, even that is not hard. So what is hard, what is not hard for you depends on you as per your practice, but just the length of the question and how much you have to calculate in it does not make it hard. For all you know, the calculations might lead to very direct and simple results. probably a difficult set is one जो आपको समझ ही नहीं आया कि क्या करना है. Only that is a definition of difficult set. Rest, everything can be solved with patience and some speed, obviously. That is that. Your first 2 or 3 sets you have to finalize as your must do sets. Then come your round 2. Then after that, okay, that these 2 sets I have to do no matter what. Then what are my next 1 or 2 sets which are my could do sets, which are moderate complexity sets, obviously. And you would have understood this. पहले वो sets करने जो सबसे आसान लग रहे हैं, फिर वो वाले करने जो कि थोड़े कम. एंड राउंड 3 वो है कि भैया ये कंफ्यूजिंग है, ये शायद मेरी अभी की औकात से बाहर है, ये अगर मैं करने भी बैठा तो मैं टाइम कंज्यूम कर जाऊंगा बहुत ज्यादा, तो ये तो मैं छोड़ रहा हूं या फिर तब करूंगा सॉल्व अगर ये लास्ट में आया मैं. दैट्स इट. देयर इज नो रॉकेट साइंस, एब्सोल्युटली नो रॉकेट साइंस. मैं जो भी आपको कह रहा हूं, सडनली यू माइट बी फीलिंग वाव अबाउट इट, दैट यस दिस डज गिव मी स्ट्रक्चर. And when I am saying this, I am realizing that it is so simple. It is so simple. But I do understand that even when I was a student, I didn't know this. How can I intuitively know something about an exam I am maybe attempting for the first time? I can't. That is why you're watching this. Do not forget to like the video, subscribe to the channel. Why? Because there's going to be more content in the coming days for CAT, not just for CAT. How do you prepare for your interviews and B school? Very genuine advice, which I feel that you need to know. Moving back to this then, how does this round strategy apply in something like VARC? And in fact, I think apart from QA, VARC is one section wherein you will reap the most benefits of seeing that paper as rounds, and you need to do this, my dear friends. The first round is very clear to me, and I've said this in so many videos of mine. The first round is all RC rounds, targeting exactly 30 minutes. In VARC, I will not even say to you कि देख लेना, तुम्हें अगर VA पहले करना पसंद आता है तो VA कर लेना पहले, कोई बात नहीं. I've seen a lot of influencers, by the way, say this thing that hey, should you attempt VA first or RC first? Well, it depends on what your strength is. If you think you can do well by attempting VA questions first, then sure, attempt VA. Or if you think you can do this one first, sure, do RCs. Does not work like that. Does not work like that. My job as a mentor is to even prescribe you things when I have to, and my prescription to you is that RCs need to be attempted first. All RCs need to be done in 30 minutes, and that, my dear friends, is your round 1. RCs give you the maximum ROI in terms of the scores and also in terms of the time you invest in it. This is a combination of 4 questions or 5 questions, however much it may come in CAT in this year. Much more ROI. जितना समय आपने वो RC पढ़ने में समझने में स्पेंड करा, आप लगभग 4 सवाल निकाल लेंगे उसमें as compared to VAs. I'll tell you more problem of solving VA first also. इसमें आपको करना क्या है, देखो राउंड 1 में सीधी सी चीज है, you have to just get going with RCs. Within RCs also, my dear friends, you need to know what is your attempt sequence of the RCs. The simplest one has to be attempted first. The simplest 2 out of the 4 need to be attempted first 2. Then the hardest of them all, ideally I would suggest you to place it at third number, not the fourth number. Fourth number again should be a very simpler one. I'll tell you why. Because if you leave your hardest RC, which is difficult to understand, not from an area which you easily understand, if you leave it for fourth and you realize कि अच्छा सर ने कहा था half an hour में खत्म करने, because then I have to spend the next 10 minutes doing VA, but half an hour खत्म होने में तो अब रह गए सिर्फ 7 मिनट रह गए. oh my god, 7 मिनट में अब आपके पास टाइम का भी स्ट्रेस है, वो कॉम्प्लेक्स RC का भी स्ट्रेस हो गया है, दोनों चीजें हो गई हैं. अब वो तो वैसे भी नहीं होगी RC, तो इफेक्टिवली देन यू आर प्लेइंग विद 3 RCs and you've already lost in that game. So a very smart, again, these are small nuances which you can know from me, and I would love to share all of these with you. Also, if you want to book a one-on-one call with me, you can do that. Find the link to my top mate in the description and we can talk about where you are, if you're struggling, if you're not struggling, whatever you want to talk. But the point is, structure it like this. Then come to the this thing. Your round 2 is your VA questions but with options. अब इसमें एक बहुत बड़ा होता है इशू. स्टूडेंट्स आर लाइक कि सर बट मुझे पैराजम्बल्स समझ में आते, तो मैं पहले पैराजम्बल्स के सारे क्वेश्चंस कर लेता हूँ, irrespective of whether they are MCQs or non-MCQs. Big blunder. Again, a para-jumble question is supposed to give you an answer like 2, 4, 1, 3 or 2, 3, 4, 1. And if you do not have options, my dear friends, just think and inform me. What do you think are realistically your chances of getting a sequence right? Very less. बहुतों का नहीं होता है, अच्छों का नहीं होता. तो इसलिए the next round is that solve all VA questions, whether it is para summary, para jumbles, para completion, odd one out, whatever, with options. फटाफट खत्म करो, use options elimination smartly, and then round 3 is go with VA without options, your Theta ones. बिकॉज उसमें ना तुम्हारा कोई आंसर होने वाला है रॉन्ग, मतलब सॉरी, यू विल नॉट अट्रैक्ट अ नेगेटिव स्कोर फॉर दैट. सो इवन इफ यू रीच अ पॉइंट वेर एन यू हैव टू जस्ट take a guess because you don't have the time left, you can do it, and suddenly you would realize you have actually attempted 24 questions, or you might have attempted 22 questions, I don't know. But this is consistent with my advice at VA RC. You have to attempt all questions almost. Now my dear friends, you know something, that while you were struggling with scoring more and you thought that यार knowledge है, पढ़ लिया, नंबर क्यों नहीं आ रहे, probably this video was the one that would come to your life and might change it a little bit so as to give you more marks and more percentile. My dear friends, do not forget to like the video, subscribe to the channel, let me know what you think about this. I want you to implement it in the next 2 mocks and give me feedback. Come back and give me feedback. I'll see you in the next video. Thanks a lot and goodbye.